Coming at you live from the Northern Network, I am your host, Aiden Ross, and this is my co-commissioner, Dell Brooks. What a lousy week to start week one of this great fantasy football season. 5 teams from the North won their rivalry games, compared to only 2 teams from the South winning their rivalry games. What a lousy start to the season, Dell.
Yes, it was.
No team was able to exceed their projected score. The closest was Sam, coming within 2 points of his projected score.
And the top 7 quarterbacks from that week did not start in their matchups. And only 4 of the top 10 wide receivers started, 7 of the top 10 running backs.
What a shame these managers don't know what they're doing. Coming in our first game, the Cowboys disaster. Najee Harris, Germany. It was taken over from the start. Dak Prescott scored a lousy 7.8 points. George Pickens, 5.2 points. And Jake Ferguson, 6.05 points. Along with some major missed opportunity on the bench, coming in the form of Marvin Harrison, scoring 18.8 points. And Justin Fields scoring 30.5 points, left him falling short of the Saban squad.
And the Saban squad from the North had an average showing. Ashton Genty had his rookie debut, only scoring 11.5 fantasy points, while his defense scored -3 points. Some missed opportunities on the bench was Deebo Samuel scoring 20.8 points and Cedric Tillman scoring 15 points. Over the week, he won 91.13 to 62.47, a Cowboys disaster. And then, the first game on Southern Station was the área de Clemson versus Squirell Hill Nutters. The top running backs for Clemson were Breece Hall and Saquon Barkley, each scoring over 17 points. And Clemson was plagued with injuries during the game, having 2 fall out in the middle. Evan Ingram scoring 4.3 points and Juwan Jennings scoring 3.1 points. Some missed opportunities on the bench were Keon Coleman scoring 26.2 points on the bench.
Dell missed some great opportunities here to trade Juwan Jennings before the game. You pesky managers know how much he was bothering you with that. However, on the other side of this matchup, coming out of Southern Station, Squirrel Hill Nutters, with a horribly misspelled team name, Jacob, please fix that.
Please do.
This game came down to Monday night. DJ Moore needed 6 points to win the game. He came out with a whopping 7.85 points to edge out Del área de Clemson. Squirrel Hill Nutters also had several rookies debut on the bench, including Emeka Egbuka scoring 22.5 points, Dylan Sampson scoring 15.3 points, and Mason Taylor scoring 2.75 points, and a wise decision to sit rookie quarterback and number 1 overall pick Cam Ward, who scored a whopping -3.52 points.
You should have started them.
Squirrel Hill Nutters wound up winning this game 95.74 points to 91.32 points.
All right, the San Francisco White Men did really well this game. 3 of them played. Christian McCaffrey, who actually played this game and wasn't on IR to start the season, scored 21 points. Ricky Pearsall scored 18.8 points after Jennings got hurt mid-game, and George Kittle scored 11.5 points, but he is sadly now on IR. Some missed opportunities on the bench were Justin Herbert scoring 30.9 points.
On the other end, the dancing Israelis in the South could simply not handle the white man's power. Jalen Hurts. Some stars that showed up include Jalen Hurts scoring 25.3 points, and Jackson Smith-Njigba scoring 22.15 points. However, his poor showings from Nick Chubb, 6 points, and Tank Bigsby, 1.2 points, wound up in a whopping 102.27 to 81.03 defeat.
Congratulations, Epstein.
Jack had a bye week.
Yes, he did.
Dylan's team did not show up at all. He had a failed attempt at his first waiver. Shadur Sanders over Josh Allen was a very questionable move in my opinion.
Yes, Josh Allen happened to score the most fantasy points this week.
46.76 points left on the bench. Quinshon Judkins over JCM, scoring 16.2 points on the bench. And his kicker, Tyler Bass, still remaining on IR.
Yeah.
How another notable injury during the game, Xavier Worthy going out on the first drive, leaving him with 0 points from that wide receiver. If he had started the correct players, he would have won by a considerable amount.
Alright, Climb Up Jack had the highest score of week 1, the almost perfect roster. He started Patrick Mahomes scoring 28 points, CD Lamb scoring 19 points, Fairbairn scoring 14, James Conner scoring 13.4, Jonathan Taylor scoring 12.05, and DK Metcalf scoring 11.3. So he won 116.42 to 50.7.
On our next matchup, against Mic'd Up Steven and I Need a Name, Zay had his flowers. Mic'd Up Steven, his stars did not show up. Devonta Smith scoring less than 4 points, being drafted in the 3rd round. Nico Collins, his first round pick, scoring just under 5 points, were massive disappointments. I'll combine with some missed opportunities on the bench in the form of Jalen Warren, scoring 13.5 points, and Zach Charbonnet scoring 10.8 points. Those are some very big opportunities missed by this manager.
Yes, and you were in this game. You saw it before we got into Sunday Night Football that this was a 50-50 matchup. It was a toss-up. But then Zay Flowers got the ball. He scored a whopping 29.35 points. That is 7 receptions for 143 yards and a touchdown.
He really came in clutch when I needed him most.
But you didn't really need Zay Flowers, because you had J.J. McCarthy on the bench scoring 23.22 points, and Travis Etienne Jr. 22.85 points, which I love my Clemson guys.
Some massive coaching errors on my mistake left me with a nail-biting win of 95.25 points to 86.22 points. Coming in hot, the Quinton Johnston scandal. Jermaine Burton slot machine controversially sat almost his entire roster after only scoring 36.6 points. He left combined well over 80 points sitting on his bench in the forms of Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson, James Cook, and Dalton Kincaid, who all had standout games, all for the sake of earning the first waiver spot to gain the mighty Quinton Johnston, who had a whopping 23.65 points, 5 receptions, 79 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And then on the other end, hitting Ruggs, the other Michael, he had a game at Tampa Bay and Atlanta where 2 of his players played. Baker Mayfield scoring 27.5 points and Drake London scoring only 11.5 points, even though he had 15 targets. Some rookie debuts were Tyler Warren, 13.15 points, and Travis Hunter, a sad 7.8 points. Some missed opportunities on the bench was Javonte Williams with 19.9 points, scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. And then Hollywood Brown with 19.4 points on 16 targets.
Although there was some controversy surrounding this game and the acquisition of Quinton Johnston, which may leave Jermaine Burton's slot machine as a heavy favorite in most of his games continuing this season, he lost 36.2 to 104.28.
Then King Henry came. This is the closest matchup of the week, being within 3 points. The week 1 MVP is Derrick Henry, scoring 44.95 points. He was the highest of the starters, with his second highest, but Josh Allen was on the bench. He had 169 rushing yards on 18 attempts, 2 touchdowns, one of those which was a 40-yard run and an extra 40-yard run where he got tackled inside the 15. Some missed opportunities on the bench were Caleb Williams scoring 24 points and Keenan Allen scoring 18 points.
Talk Tua lost in a tragic fashion as Bijan Robinson had nearly 32 points, coming from 24 rushing yards on 12 attempts, along with 6 receptions for 100 yards and a 40-yard receiving touchdown. This game also came down to Monday Night Football, where Talk Tua needed the star wide receiver for the Bears, Roma Dunze, to come in clutch, but he only scored 14.2 points. A massive missed opportunity on the bench came in the form of Garrett Wilson, who scored 21 points. Talk Tua wound up losing this nail-biter of a match, 98.86 to 102.22. Now we can get into week 2. However, there's an ad break first.
Whopper, Whopper.
Whopper, 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 Junior, Double, Triple, Whopper, Impossible or Bacon Whopper. I rule this day. BK.